Hey, what's up, guys? I hope everybody's doing well. I know it's 4:30 in the morning here in upstate New York. I hope everybody around the world, wherever you are all feeling well. So, I've been doing some videos here and there, so let me first explain why I have not been doing a lot. I'm doing a master's program in cybersecurity. It's been taking up a lot of my time, so I apologize of the inconvenience of not posting more or publishing my stuff more frequently. So please forgive me for that. But the main topic today is 3iatlas. So here's one of the most recent images of 3iatlas. If you can look at it, and it's the one right here. Okay. The other strange thing is that in other pictures, it looks like these things here, which is really odd. You can see these long cylindrical like shapes. So this is very odd that it looks like this in one of the images, but from another image it looks very cylindrical, like an elongated cylinder like object. And interesting enough, I do have something of what Avi Loeb himself has said. First, let's take a look at a post that they were talking about here. So the first images from Mars of the Manhattan-sized interstellar object 3iatlas have been released as NASA has gone radio silent due to government shutdown, which is interesting because you guys have to use your minds, use your brains, and think that how odd it is that the exact same moment that this thing comes within the range of our satellites that are in the vicinity of this unknown object here, because nobody knows exactly what it is. It doesn't have the same composition of a comet or anything else that we know of. So they're trying to hide that. But this government shutdown during this exact same moment is strange. And it's not only happening in the United States, it's happening all over the world. No one is talking about it. There is a silence that is happening uh, over the entire global media, and no one's talking about it. All the governments and all the other entities like NASA, space agencies, and other countries are all quiet, and they're not gathering. You don't see them putting up any pictures that they've taken as 3iatlas has come into range. So it says here, glowing in the Martian sky, 3iatlas was captured by a total of 7 orbiters from several agencies as it made closest pass on its path through the inner solar system, coming within 12 million miles of the red planet. This is after the fact, okay? The European Space Agency released the first images of the mysterious interstellar object recorded by their ExoMars trace gas orbiter on Tuesday. The craft captured images with its color and stereo surface imaging system with tiny fuzzy white dot which shows the center of the glowing coma of 3iatlas, which you can see here. It looks very similar to the other picture I showed you guys. So you can see that here. This is one of the first pictures from the European Space Agency, ExoMars. Source trace gas orbiter released on Tuesday. There's another picture here. So I guess this is CASSIS, probably something for the space station, was not able to distinguish the nucleus from the coma of the object because it was too far away, and the ExoMars orbiter has a limited ability to observe far-off flyers, the ESA said. This is a very challenging observation for the instrument. The comet is around 10,000 to 100 times fainter than our usual target. Nick Thomas, principal investigator of the CASSIS camera, explained. The ESA is still waiting for the processing of images from the Mars Express orbiter. NASA released puzzling contextless images over the weekend. What's new? that they that left many skywatchers scratching their heads. When NASA does something, they even have people that work at NASA saying that they always edit their photos, and that's why we don't get anything right away. They take time to actually edit their photos. That's a known fact of what they do, because the people that worked at NASA, the NASA employees that were in charge of those things, came out and admitted. NASA itself admitted to it as well. Here's an image released by NASA taken by the Mars Perseverance rover, which is believed to be 3iatlas. So here we go. I know these images are really horrible because they're not really showing much. They're not giving us a whole lot of detail. But hopefully we'll get something in the near future. The American Space Agency dropped 2 images recorded on October 4th by the Perseverance rover, which navigates across the rocky red terrain of Mars. Those images were shared as the image of the week on NASA's Mars website, but the unexpectedly cylindrical, there you go, object was not explicitly labeled as 3iatlas. Harvard astrophysicist, my favorite, Avi Loeb, determined that the lengthy impression left on the film was due to the space agency overlaying hundreds of navcam snaps of the object as it passed through the Martian sky over a 10-minute period. Okay, so it's like a time lapse of some sort, and they're using every bit of information from that time lapse photo to reconstruct the actual image itself, which is weird. I guess, that they have to do that, I guess. I don't know exactly. But here's something interesting. Let's listen to see if we can hear what Avi Loeb says.
A few days ago, on October 3rd, it passed near Mars in 29.
Hold on a second. Let me see if the actual audio is coming on, guys. Bear with me as I check this, okay? I really apologize about that. Hold on. Let's see if this does it. I hope that made a difference. Let's check and see if it comes out here.
Million kilometers, and this camera was able to detect it, and what we see is a ball of light with a slight extension, and it doesn't look like a typical comet where you see a beautiful tail of dust stretching away from the direction of the sun, and there will be much better data. The best is yet to come from the high-rise camera on board NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. The data was taken, but because of the government shutdown, we haven't seen it. That particular camera is 0.5 meter in diameter and can give us 30-kilometer resolution of 3iatlas, this new interstellar object. And that could potentially tell us how big it is, because the amount of sunlight that is reflected from it will set the brightest pixel in the image that we get from NASA. So everyone is eagerly awaiting that, because it will be the best, the highest resolution image we have. And a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Catch the latest on this story at Fox 32 on Fox Local.
A few days ago.
So you see that Avi Loeb, if you guys don't know who Avi Loeb is, this guy's an amazing man. He literally has been working at Harvard as the top or director of the theoretical physics for astrophysics, actually, and he's the main guy there. He's very prominent in his field, obviously, to be able to have that position. But for him to make the speculation here is almost damning in some ways, because that whole group of I guess you want to say like a group of scientists have like an elitist way of looking at things, and they also can deem anyone that speaks outside of the norm as being crazy or wacky. And I think that he's taking a lot of risk by coming out to the public and saying that everything he's seeing is anomalous. It doesn't make any sense compared to what you would normally see within what they would call normally a comet. We don't have the telltale signs of a comet. We have everything but that. From the light that was emanating from the front of it, which was very odd, to having no tail, So it's not leaving a streak in the sky. You just see a ball of light, which is even more eerie, which almost makes you wonder if there's a light emanating, a light source from itself that's emanating. So you have to wonder, what's causing that. And they said that there was a light source in front of it that was like the tail was in front. So, there are all these weird aspects of it. Also, the composition of it. Its main composition of nickel, and I forgot what the other um, uh, parts or elements or that doesn't fit the criteria of what a normal comet would be composed of. So these are all things that Avi Loeb, who's definitely well studied and an expert in this area, is making speculation on good reason. I believe so as well. So there's a lot of other things that are going on here. These are a few things here. Now Avi Loeb probably cannot come out to the public and say some of the things that we're hearing from other people. Like I really found something interesting here, a video that I found really odd. Take a look at this here.
All of you, not, I mean, I know that some people. This is the fleet, man. 3iatlas, it's here, passing through the Earth, and we have 17 comets, seeders, around. Mainstream science will say to you, there are comets always everywhere here around. No, not. There are comets always around, but not in this quantity. And this weird movement that I noticed that, look, what do you find weird? Three Atlas is... Where is... Here. 3iatlas comes from here to here. You see? That's the passage.
And what's interesting about this, he's right, because if you look at this, it's like they're almost all hovering, and 3iatlas comes literally flying, somehow missing everything. I mean, it's a lot of heavenly bodies out there, and heavenly meaning, bodies in space. I'm just using that term metaphorically. But there's a lot of, objects that are orbiting around our solar system and very close to the Earth. Look where the Earth is right here. And look where Mercury, Venus, I mean, you have like all these planets around here as well within the same vicinity. He's right. There are 17 of these extraterrestrial bodies. I don't know if they're actual comets, but if they he's saying that they could be comets. They're the known comets maybe, but how are they all in the same range as 3iatlas as it's coming through our solar system? Now you have to ask that question: what's going on? It's almost like if they, if any interstellar, let's say warships were like, and if you watch Star Trek, right? And when they bring in the galaxy cruisers and all the big ships, the battleships that they have in space, like the Enterprise and other ships like that they surround the area just like this, almost like in a pattern where they, every aspect of it is strategically positioned. But the thing is that I don't think that we have anything out in space that can protect us. I really don't. But then again, we don't know. We really don't know. I always have the questions that, what if we are in cahoots or colluding with other entities that are alien entities out in space? What if that is happening? I've heard from on certain other shows, people in the military saying that we have that there is a galactic federation and we are part of it. But that could explain some of the technologies that we're seeing today. How in the hell is it possible that everything that we've seen in the last 40, 50 years in sci-fi movies is coming to reality? I mean, from robots, iPhones, cell phones, computers, everything that we've seen in the imagination of the human mind has come to pass. We are living this dream or reality or simulation whatever the hell you want to call it. We're living it. It's happening right now, guys. But I have a an interesting theory on this as well, because there's some stuff here that's also happening, and I don't know if I put it up here. I probably didn't put it up here, but there was also a gravitational wave that was coming from far out to the depths of the universe from two black holes that I believe had collapsed on themselves. And I wonder if this is some sort of alien technology, because I said there would be some kind of ripple in time and space, some sort of gravitational tsunami, if you want to put it that way. And I wonder, with all the weird things that we're seeing from the, uh, you know, uh, the sunbursts that are coming from the sun, the CMEs that are coming from the sun, and then that affects our magnetic field of the Earth. And the odd part is we know that the core of the Earth is made up of the same substance of a lot of what are these comets that are supposedly made up of nickel as well. So we know that there's also that aspect of it as well. But we know that when we have a high disturbance in our magnetic field from a lot of the solar flares, the coronal mass ejections that are happening from the sun, and we've had some really large ones recently. And that being said, has that from those collapsed black holes, has the ripple already started affecting our solar system, our part of the universe, right? Has it hit the Milky Way? Are these things here somehow to buffer that wave and are surrounding the planet to protect us? I would like to think optimistically that may be the case, why we're seeing this. We don't, look, I'm just speculating. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating on what I'm thinking very optimistically, that instead of an alien invasion as everybody else is thinking, what if it has something to do with that? What if they're there to help buffer that wave of that disruption that would come from the gravitational wave, the force of the gravitational wave that's traveling from the collapsed black holes. I'm just, like I said, it's just a speculation that I'm putting out there, but I'd like to always think optimistically about any of these things, because I just try to be optimistic in general. But it's something that I just threw out there. I would love to hear if anybody has any of their own comments and their own ideas, or even what you think about what I said about my idea. If you have any comments about that, I would love to hear them. And I try hard as I can to respond back to any and everyone that responds, as long as it's something that's plausible and that we can discuss this. I will definitely join in that conversation as much as I can. That also gives me ideas of what the next video will be about as well. So guys, I hope that this was enlightening to you in some way. I hope you had a good time with this, because it's extremely exciting what's happening right now. I mean, we've lived, on this planet for so long, and we haven't had this much excitement in the skies above us, in the heavens above us, and, well, let's hope that maybe it is something extraterrestrial, and instead of coming here to destroy us, maybe they're coming here to give us good news and to bring us into the next wave of consciousness, and to show us that there's a whole new way of life, and there are other people or beings that live amongst us, or we live amongst them, and they're going to be just like in Star Trek, and they're going to introduce us to them. That would be really cool. I'm hoping that's the case. But guys, I'm going to leave you guys with this thought. I do hope to hear any of your speculations. Anything that you have to say would be really interesting. And I hope you guys have a great, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And I will see you guys in the next video. Again, I will be on video in the next video, hopefully. But like I said, the cybersecurity master's program is so difficult. It's been literally draining me from head to toe. Like, I'm so exhausted from doing the work and studying. But it's worth it. It's worth it what I'm doing, and I love it. Really, really having a good time with it. And I'll tell you more about that as well. And I'm also on my health kick, which I've lost about 16 pounds now. And I've been dealing some issues after the car accident with my spine. If you guys have been watching my videos, I'm able to walk a little bit further now and do a few more things, and I'm back on the ground doing my yoga and meditation. And I'll be talking about those things also, because I am the spiritual philanthropist, first of all. I am Rav Shiva, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is the Daily Sutra, guys. Have a great night, morning, or evening, wherever you are.